Hi, I'm Dorothy Mockensturm. I'm Managing Director for Good Grief of Northwest Ohio. We are a nonprofit here in Toledo, and we provide no-cost peer support groups for children and teens who've had a death impact their lives. We're a real small staff. We're 2.5 staff people. Everything else is volunteer driven. So we actually have volunteers that facilitate the peer support groups with the kids. We work with kids from 4 to young adult, 19, 20 years old. And we do that in two ways. We do that in our program space here in Toledo on Reynolds Road, and also in some of our schools, local schools. We're in like 4 different schools at this moment. We were founded in 2012. We've been a 501c3 since then. We are sort of modeled after organizations throughout the country, such as the Dougie Center in Portland, Oregon, and Ellie's Place in Michigan. And what we do is not counseling or therapy, it's peer support. So it's a chance for kids to be with other kids who've experienced something similar, in that somebody close to them has died. And it helps kids sort of process all the myriad of emotions that accompany grief. Kids don't want to feel different than their peers. And the moment, sort of that a death happens, that often is the result. We are in a real death and grief adverse society. We don't like to talk about it. And we especially don't know how to talk to kids about it. But Good Grief does. I mean, we're specially trained to address childhood grief. And we know that, so the statistics in terms of how big of an issue childhood grief is, we know that 1 in 11 kids in the state of Ohio will experience the death of a parent or a sibling before they reach 19. So just in Lucas County, that's over 10,000 kids. So it's a prevalent, it impacts the entire community. And we know that unaddressed childhood grief puts those kids at higher risks of problems with anxiety and depression, substance abuse, poor life choices. It can have an immediate impact on their school performance. And then it can, left unaddressed, it can have long lasting impact into their adulthood. So our goal is to help kids find their best coping mechanisms. So it's not an A, B, C, and D, and by the time you get to, F, you're done. It's being fully present with kids while they express whatever it is they need to express to be able to process what the world is going to look like now that this person that they care so much about is no longer there. So what we want them to walk away from here with is having been able to identify positive ways to cope with the pain of grief, whether that's activities or people they can talk to, or just things that they know they can do for themselves that will help them weather the storm. And we are truly a community-based organization. We don't generate income, and we don't get insurance reimbursement. So every dollar that we spend, we have to raise somehow. And that's why being chosen as a charity for this year's Marathon Classic is a phenomenal gift for us in so many different ways. The funding will help us sort of, have a greater financial safety net, so that our in-house programs can continue to thrive and grow. And we're also have earmarked that funding to help expand the in-school programs. As I mentioned, the at least 10,000 kids in Lucas County alone who are grieving. Kids spend a lot of time in school, and if they're grieving, their grief goes with them. And schools are not typically set up to support grieving students. So that's why it's important that we be in the schools to be able to help address that need. So we're very grateful to the Marathon Classic for choosing us for that reason. And then also sort of a side note about what we've experienced. We were lucky enough to be chosen in 2017 as well. And what we experienced was because this community really embraces the Marathon Classic, and there's a lot of interest and advertising and just a lot of note is taken about the classic itself, and then sort of also all the charities that are involved. So it increases our awareness within the community, which is invaluable. And I believe it also helps to sort of raise awareness of the issues surrounding childhood grief. So we're very, very grateful for that. And sort of in addition to that, because all the charities that are chosen are children's charities, we're a children's charity, and so we've made alliances and collaborations and friends with other organizations in the area that we might not have known about had it not been for the both of us being part of the Marathon Classic. So we're just thrilled, and we're so excited to be a part of this blog, and grateful for the attention that we are receiving.